Hello. All right, we're about to start. Hope that you all are there and ready for us to go. Let's go. Okay, my people. Good day to you all. I hope that everybody's doing fine. Everybody's doing well. Good to have you all again today. This is Mike at Night. Let me make sure that all our systems are a go. If you're hearing me, let me know that we're hearing you. Those of you who have been with us from last year to this year, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me say Happy New Year to you all. It has been a wonderful time that we've had and a wonderful occasion. Okay, so Charmaine boys, yes, Happy New Year to you. Nice having you. I want you all to share the live to everybody. Let them know that we are on. Let them know that Mike at Night is on the air. All right. So, let me give people a chance to join the live. How has the year started off for you all? Let me know how the year has started out for many of you all. All right. Let me just check with the live that we have on. Yeah. Okay. Quiet. Charmin says, well, give thanks. Sabana, sparkling. Yeah, well, some of you all had a good one. Some of you all may not have had such a good one, but that is life. Okay. Gary Francois, Happy New Year to you, my brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I appreciate it very, very much. All right. Let me see if I could just plug something in the back here so that we don't lose our lights when we're ready. Yes, sir. All right. So who else we have here? Annabella. Happy New Year to you, Annabella. Girl, you have a story in your life, you know. Jacqueline Charles. St. Kitts Nevis. Good evening to you. Happy New Year to you. We have people from different places, man. Good evening. Happy New Year to you, Angel Golden Wilson. Timothy, nice having you, eh? Usually on. All right, so we're talking about say it so people get it. Let me see if we could help you to understand this concept as much as possible. And let me tell those who now come in to rock and come in, people. Make yourself at home on the Mic at Night. It is our first for the year 2024. Share the live. Just use your share on your page and just put it on somebody else's page. Or just share the live from the page that you're on, my page, and share it on your page. I think that is what it should be. Cecile Millington, good evening to you. Yeah, so great seeing you all for this new year. All right. So while we're still waiting on everybody to come in, we're going to start to give a context of what we're talking about. Handel Beckles, welcome, welcome. Yes, nice having you, and nice having all of you all. If you wish to call in, you can call us or WhatsApp us at 868-688-5363. The number is on the screen. You'll see there. That is 868-688-5363. Right? And you'll be able to WhatsApp or call us as the case may be. So let's talk about this thing about the way that we come across to people. One of the missteps that we make in relationships, whether it is, and this doesn't have to deal only with business relationships, it has to deal with relationships in general. One of the mistakes that we make when it comes to relationships is that we tend to say things that we really do not mean. And after saying something that we do not mean, we have a little problem when people get it a way that we did not intend. And I'll give you an example. We've heard people so often when they get vexed in a relationship, go if you want. Go and find somebody else. Go and live somewhere else. Move out of my place. You hear that so often. And as one lady was recounting to me, her husband left after midnight. And when we were chatting, I said, well, how come he left? Well, she said, because she told him to leave. And he said he just packed up and left. I said, well, didn't you just tell me you asked him to leave? She said, yes, but he didn't even beg. He didn't even ask whether he could stay. He didn't even, as though he was just waiting on that and he just left. And she was all so heartbroken and so upset with the gentleman. But I don't know whether, we say that if a woman says no is no. We say that if a person says something that we need to take them for their word. Well, he took you for your word and he left. But she felt that he should have at least shown some measure of wanting to stay. Then don't tell him to leave. You understand? So you see that so often. There's another case, this time with a gentleman. I'm trying to keep both of them together. And the gentleman said, you know me, Mr. Short, I am really hardy to know. I am fed up. That is the end of me. I don't care what she says. I'm leaving. I'm gone. So I try to ask the gentleman to think carefully about the decision he's making. Because when we are emotional, we say things because we are emotionally charged. We are driving emotionally under the influence. So we are not sober. We are emotionally drunk. He said, I make up my mind. I don't care. I've had it. Well, the lady was sitting there and she heard it. And she tell herself, all right, well, this is over. So when she went home, she packed up and she left. About 2 days later, the gentleman is visiting me and asking me if I could call his lady and ask her to come back home. I said, why should I be doing that? He says, well, she left and he really did not mean it and she didn't think that she would take it seriously. Then why did you tell her that? You understand me? What's wrong with us? Human being people are, we call ourselves. What's wrong with us? Good evening, Josiane, St. Lucia. Nice having you. Nice having you on board. Yes. So we say so often things that are hurtful to people, hoping that they would feel the pain we feel. So we hurt them with our words. But many times we really don't mean what we say. But one of the things that I've learned over the years is this. When people say something so often and then have to go back and say sorry, sooner or later their sorrow and their words are penitent mean nothing to the person that you've hurt so often. Let me say that again. And let me say that clearly to everybody who think that every time you hurt somebody and you say sorry and it mends the relationship, it leaves a scar. But after a while, your words of sorrow and sorry are ineffective, has no impact whatsoever. So try for your apologies to be few and sincere, rather than to be many and just as a casual trivia in the discussion and relationships. Don't do it. Don't practice it at all. Does not make sense. It is ineffective. And let me tell people, you know, the thing about forgiving people and people who are so willing to make things work, they take back a transgressor over and over and over again, and the transgressor begins to think, I really don't have to work hard for forgiveness, because every time I come back and I say, let's start again, they give me a chance. So the person gets worse because they are being enabled. All you talk to me, tell me if I'm making sense to man. Heather, good evening. Welcome, come in, Heather Atkins. Nice. Bernice Martin, blessed evening to you and Happy New Year. Nice having you all. Good evening, Lyndon, Joe Field. Yep. All you tell me if it making sense, people. My sister Diane, good evening to you. Rock and come in, Diane. Rock and come in. Candice Alexander, nice having you. All you wonderful people. Nice. Good to see all of you all for the new year. Yeah. Once is a mistake, says Annabella. Twice is a habit. I'm not going down that road, period. Annabella, you know, we have to keep forgiving and forgiving. Christ says, forgive 70 times 7. That's about 400 and must be 99 if my math's not so good. And that is in one day. So we are to be forgiving people, but I want to tell you, we are human beings. And as we forgive people, when we have to forgive too often, sooner or later we think that the person does not take our forgiveness and our soul seriously. Happy New Year to you. Charmaine says, I understand, but I say it like it is no cherries on top. Well, we're going to talk about that, Charmaine, when we're just saying things as it is with no cherries on top. Whether that is even a good practice. We're going to talk about that. Hopefully, we'll get to that too. All right. Drop a ceramic plate on the floor. On the ground, it breaks. Say sorry and see if it comes back together. Well, the human heart is not ceramic. Good thing. Yes. All right. Ryan Curry, good evening to you, Ryan. Happy New Year to you too. Wishing you all the best. Yes. Let me see what Sparkling is saying. Sparkling is saying, I would want grace be extended to me. So sometimes it is considered, but not when you're taking advantage of the situation or circumstance. And some people do. Some people do. They keep repeating the same thing over and over. One can tolerate when the transgression, you did this one time, I forgive you, but you do something else next time, and I forgive you. But I'll tell you, my people, it is hard forgiving the same thing over and over again. All tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying it is impossible. I am saying it is hard forgiving the same thing over and over again. That's why some people meet to the point that they don't care. Do not allow your spouse to get to the point where they do not care. They are the most dangerous, because at that point, they can take any decision and they have little to lose in their head, because when they match up the pain that they are going through and the decision they're going to make, they would consider the pain they're going through to be more excruciating than the decision they're going to be making. Don't put somebody into that tight spot at all. At all. Let them always stay in a relationship because they want to. They long for it. They enjoy it. They are comfortable in it. Never because they have to stay, because they don't have any other choice. Because at some point, they will make a choice. Let's say you're talking about in a situation of abuse that is going on. Abuse is going on in the relationship. The person will take abuse, and you'll think that they'll continue to take it forever. No, at all. You'll see some people make some decisions at a point in time when they tell themselves, enough is enough. That is the straw that broke the camel's back. So we want to help you tonight. We want to help you all to be able to be very judicious with your words as we go along. So I want you to follow with me. Energies, words have energy. So words can either charge us or words can drain us. That's a fact. So you could talk to somebody and they feel excited and energized and encouraged. Or you could say some things to some people, and the words you use can make them feel drained, emasculated, low self-esteem. Let them feel shame. Let them feel as though they sunk into the earth. Some of you could identify with what I'm talking about, because sometimes our parents make us feel like that, or boss make us feel like that, or spouse make us feel like that, or parents make us feel like that, and sometimes our children make us feel like that. But those words carry energy. So it is important to choose words that energize and encourage, uplift, rather than words that pull down and make somebody feel drained. Joanna, St. Vincent, good evening to you. Nice having you on. Always happy to see you, my dear. You should see me soon. I will say that much. Not say nothing else, Joanna. Glendalin, good evening. Nice having you. All right. So we're talking about that words carry energy, and we should therefore use words that energize each other and build up each other. So let me talk to you about, I just want to give you 5 stuff, and I hope I should finish this 5 within the time frame that we're talking about. So words we hear, and those words, how they impact upon us, is very, very important, because we pick it up in our subconscious as we speak. So according to this article that is written by a lady, Natalia Adiva. So in the article, I think the newsletter is called Love Panky. And I felt it was quite interesting. So she gave five things that I want to share with you at this point in time. Okay. So let's go with number one. Number one, when you talk about choosing the words of your partner. How you speak to your partner affects the way they think of you. Let me say that again. How you speak to your partner is going to determine the way they think of you. For them to think of you as nice and romantic and caring and considerate, a lot depends upon how we talk to our spouses. Now, there is some measure that some people are so broken that regardless of how you talk to them, they will feel, they'll still feel the way they do. Because there are some people so steep in being a victim that even when you praise them and commend them, they'll think that you have ulterior motive for praising and commending them. So we're not talking about those. But generally, we are talking about that the way we speak to each other is very important. Let me just go to Facebook here now and see what Handel Beckles is saying. I guess the change in weather is causing delayed broadcasts and slight sticking. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that I'm sorry. But we'll have to now ask the network to solve that. Sorry about that, Handel. All right, Eden Thomas, Michael, good evening. I always remind women in abusive relationship to take Francine advice. Eden, all right, Eden. So we have people from different Caribbean islands here, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, a number of places. So let me just help you with understand what Eden is saying. Singing Francine sang a song. Dog does run away. Cat does run away. Woman, who is you? You must run away too. And she's talking about the things about abuse and getting lashed and so on. That's what Eden Thomas is referring to. Thank you, Eden. Caroline Wakan come in. All right. Lynette York. Thanks for coming on. All right. So it's talking about that the things that we go through in the relationship. It is important the way we talk to our spouse. Their motivation and inspiration depends on the way and the words we choose. The way we speak to them, it is not what you say they say, but it is how you say. But I want to suggest it is also what you say. What you say and how you say it is important. So make sure your words are seasoned with salt, spoken with grace. Kind words make us feel so safe, and criticism is going to make us feel weak. It's going to make us feel as though we are ashamed, and angry words also make us angry. So we need to use reassuring words to comfort us, right? So how you speak to your partner is going to be critical in this process. All right. So number one, when you're speaking in, when we're talking to one another, one of the things that in relationships, when we're speaking with one another or to each other, one party would be speaking and something the person said that the other party may not agree with or think is an error in its context would now cut across the partner and challenge the partner on that before that partner has made the point that they are making. Follow me. So if the person is giving a story and they said on Tuesday, this happened, you may know it was not Tuesday, it was Monday. One of the things that you don't want to come across is that you're picking at little things and always correcting your partner and so on. So choose your words and tell yourself, it doesn't matter whether it's Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. What is being brought out is exactly what happened. So let us wait for that part, the big picture, to find out what is it the person is saying. So always listen to the partner and do not cut across them in order to be able to correct them. Listen carefully and let them finish their story. Eh? Can you all feel me up in here? Yes. Now, all of us have done that at some point in time. But some people do it almost without any limitation. They just do it all the time. So you're never able to finish the conversation. Hear what that does. If the person doesn't finish what they're saying, most time they start all over again. And then here's what we're going to tell that person. Hey, I hear that already. You said that already. But they never got to finish it. And if a person does not feel heard, they will leave that conversation feeling that they never got a chance to say what they had to say. 2 weeks later, they bring it up back, the same story again. That's why some people bring it up back again. Timing is also a critical factor. When you say what needed to be said must be taken into consideration. All right, we're going to take that, Handel Beckles. I'm going to take that on board because that is true. So if you're going to say something to somebody, choose the right time. Sometimes you might have to wait until the person has calmed down. Or you might have to wait until the person is less emotional with something that might have been recent. So just wait at the right time. Know your spouse and know the frequency that they're vibrating at. I know that tell us that probably I need to just hold up on this one. especially, do not correct your spouse in front of other people. Whether it's the man correcting the woman or the woman correcting the man. Let it pass. You hear me? Let it pass. You don't need to win that fight. You could wait till you get home and talk about that. Yes, sir, you could. You don't have to deal with it now. Yes, ma'am, there's no need to be able to rag him up in front of other people. You have nothing to gain from that. The relationship is going to go into a spiral and you will not be able to see straight. You will be dizzy with that kind of relationship. If whether you are the husband or the wife, the boyfriend or the girlfriend, have to try to correct somebody in front of other people to show yourself up. You cannot do that at the expense of your spouse. So I'm going to take that from Handel. He had me go off on a tangent there because I think that was timely for me to say that part, because some people seem to take pride in embarrassing their spouse in public. I saw a man do that at the airport one day to a woman while she was at the counter with all the people around the counter, embarrassed and shouted at her, pushed her because she was taking too long in the line. When he was busy, he was there waiting for her for quite a while and he came up and saw her still in the line. It's not her fault. Even if it were her fault, that's not the place to do it. Seriously. All right. Davika, good evening, Davika. Good evening to you. Rock and come in, people. Can't teach an old man new lessons. You can't teach an old woman new lessons either, you know. All right, Lyndon, most times we listen for criticism afterwards. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You could say that again. Beatrice St. Paul, I didn't see inside of there. Yep. Beatrice, yeah. Good evening to you. Nice having you on board. All right. So we need to learn to choose the words, because those words that we choose they're going to have an impact on other people. So especially if you're going to correct your spouse, correct them in private now. Correct them in private. And even when you're in private, correct them with respect. Because after you correct the person, the relationship still has to continue. There is that relationship that still must continue. So therefore, do it with a regard and respect. So don't raise your voice. And if you're going to raise your voice, be conscious of it, be self-aware, and bring it down back. Because you're not talking to your child. You know, I think sometimes we feel as though we are talking to children. And because we feel we are vexed, we take license to do and say things just because we vex. No, there's no excuse for that. Always remember, at the end of the day, you should love your partner. At the end of the day, your partner is your partner, and treat them with respect. Even if the relationship breaks up, treat the person with respect even in breaking up. When you look at what's going on because we have so many people from different islands here now. But let me narrow it down to Trinidad and Tobago. Look at what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at what's going on as far as our women are concerned. Over the last week or two, women have not been safe, and they have not been safe for a very long time. But even more so now, it seems as though I'm only saying so because of this, more of our women at the end of the onslaught of men. But it seems as though when we get vexed and we get angry, we have to damage somebody. We have to hit somebody, or we have to abuse somebody or shoot somebody. I paid a visit to the prison some time ago, and I was speaking with some of the guys inside of their prisoners. And we were talking about how abuse comes down to the generation. And I said to them, those of you inside here for abuse, there's a high chance your father was abusing your mother, abusing some woman. And there's a gentleman who stopped me, and he rolled his eyes. He said, you know what you just said there? I said, yeah. He said when he checks back, every time his father got vexed or angry, somebody got injured. Either a man that he's arguing with, or his mother or his sister got injured. And he said, you know, when I really think back now, I am in here on my 5th injury. Because whenever he gets vexed, he was also abusing people. Yeah. It passes down. And it starts off by threats, words that we use, threatening words, because we're trying to be big, bravado. And that bigness that we try to do, eventually we execute it because somebody challenges us and we can't back down off of the threats that we make. All right. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Somebody said the power of words can make or break your relationship. Yes. Thank you. Let me just pick up here. Let God handle him, you will do better. I can't follow everything that everybody doing. Josanne. Josanne from St. Lucia say, I don't like my skin to burn me. Well, Josanne, nobody will burn your skin anyway. Yeah, after all, who would want to burn a nice lady skin like yours? Somebody say, if he push her, she will give him a good meal for him to sleep. Lyndon, there's no more walking away. Yeah. It's as though we don't consider walking away as an option. And walking away is an option. Who is it? Sabina said, no man could try that with me. I see what you are talking about at the airport very often. Yes, it does happen. And that's why I would like, especially men, talking to men about the way that is done. And let the women talk to the women about the way how they speak to and treat men. I don't want it to be biased on one side because admit it, some of the things women say trigger men. Yeah? Well, you might not like to hear that, but that is true. But at the same time, I want to say that the men should not use that as an excuse to allow their trigger to end up in abuse. It is inexcusable. If you want Babashi to make shit fight, he could have dealt with that different way. All right. All right. So that is one. The way we speak to them. And when others are around, we need to be able to do it with respect. The third thing that they said is that let's use compliments as much as possible. Compliments is that for if you check your average day discussion with your spouse, I just asking everybody to think about it. Think about it. If you check your average discussion with your spouse on an average day, do you speak more positive, complimentary, encouraging words to your spouse? Or are they more negative and insulting, accusing, blaming words? Just think. You all just think. I'm giving you all time to think about it. You see? Think about it. If you want, post it. Post it, let me see. Let me see who honest. Let me see who's honest. Not what the person is telling you. You telling the person that you're in your life with. And not your children. Because we know that when it comes to our children, we tell our children all kind of nice things and all sort of things. But we talk to our spouses as though they are children. Yep. Heather said, very true, when you do that, your spouse in public is telling others you have no respect for them. Furthermore, that behavior doesn't make spouse look bad. It makes you lose respect from the others. Yes, because others who watching it, they don't take regard. I don't know anybody who really rejoices when somebody sees another person just insulting and abusing their spouse in public. So have some self-control and self-respect. Edward Jones, you know, don't come with that, whether we start early again. You go to the quadrangle, my boy. All right. There are times when we are mostly concerned about censure, Handel Beckles. All right. So here's the 3-to-1 ratio concept. Say 3 good things for every 1 negative you say. Every time you say something that criticizes your spouse, find 3 good things after that to say to them. Because that is how many times an average from those who did the research for that to give some form of softening of the negative, hurtful thing that you said. 3-to-1. So what about those of us who say repeatedly negative things over and over again, whole day, that is all we're doing is complaining. That is all we're doing is finding fault. You know how much of a bankrupt situation we have in our relationships because of that? We need to deposit more into it. So, according to the author of the article, Miss Natalie Adiva, say some complimentary things, say some nice things, and say some nice words. And I want to talk, before we finish, I want to talk about how some of those words we can use. All right? And then we go to another one. I think it's the 4th point I'm bringing to you now. The words that you use when you're in arguing. When people argue, sometimes they use some of the most hurtful words. And some people go down into their history to find something that would really hurt you and say it, specifically because they are in an argument with you. And it is worse when you share with that person a secret or share with that person something of your history, something in your life that you are ashamed of in the past, and you share it with them because you wanted to get it off the chest. You're not like that anymore, but you shared it with them. And then they turn around and use it when they are vexed. How do you feel? I'm sure you don't feel good at all. Mandel said, but I found positive reinforcement, kindly speech make for a healthy home and peaceful existence. Yes, it does. What about if one talks kindly speech and the other one doesn't? Where does that leave us? That leaves us in trouble. Because there are some people can't find nice words to say. Unfortunately. Or they do not try to find nice words to say. I agree with everything you're saying, Mr. Stewart, sir. However, we are all human beings. We can be how loving, caring, and humble as we are. Every cup has a limit. But you do understand we all have to continue to pray. Yes, we do. For patience and self-control with our emotions. We do. Absolutely. Yeah. Because we're not going to make it otherwise. At all. All right, let me just check some of the messages that people may be sending in on the other chat. Okay. The other chats, people more or less saying hello and hi and so on. So hello and hi to everyone. All right. So I hope this is bringing some value to you all. Okay. So when we are arguing and confrontation, disagreements, they are part of the relationship. So let's not get perturbed that we will argue. Two things that we are sure in a relationship is something that they call rupture and repair. Rupture and repair, where the relationship is going to rupture through arguments, disagreement, etc. The rupture is not your issue. It's your capacity to repair. When you have the capacity to repair, the ruptures do not happen so often. And the repair makes the reconciliation faster because we have learned how to recover. But when some people argue, the expletives, the insults, the derogatory names that we use, how you expect to go and make love to that person after? It befuddles me. And there are people living in that relationship for years. Years. Hey, my goodness. Anyway, there are some people I think probably have the tolerance for that. I think I'm allergic to that. At all. If we arguing, let's disagree on the point. But don't start calling me names and insulting me at all. I'm not taking that. I think we're mature enough that we could be able to sit down and talk. And I believe it is people who have run out of our vocabulary that must now be repeating these expletives repeatedly. You have no other words in your vocabulary? Anyway, there was a rule taught years gone by to take a glass of water, sip it slowly. Well, who is the singer that say drink water and mind your business? So you are not charged with the reaction of angry words. I'm teaching lately about reaction versus response. Yeah, that's right. There's a difference between reaction and response, Handel. And Handel, you were in the medical field. If I remember right, I wonder if I remember right. I wonder if you, I think you are a male nurse. Am I right? Anyway, but when an accident takes place on the highway, and all the people come around to watch the accident and see who dead or if the person injured or if I know the person, etc. If you know the person, those are reactors. They make a lot of noise, they create a lot of energy, but they don't change the circumstance of the person on the ground. When you hear the siren in the distance and that ambulance and police coming down there and the medical team, they are called first responders, not first reactors, because they are coming with one objective: to improve the situation of the person on the ground. They are not coming to scope around. They're not coming to look. They are coming to help. And whenever we are in a relationship, we must learn to respond to the issues in the relationship by improving on the situation, not just by quarreling and cussing and carrying on. Right. Yes, you see Andel? Yes, Andel was a male nurse. So he's about to know what he's talking about with the first responder then. It is said that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but I say the way to a woman's heart is through her ears. If you say the right thing, the right way to us, that says Heather, we will wake up at midnight and cook you your Ooh, life, Heather. Hey, I hope you don't run out of gas that over the night. Thank you. But you're right. Once they're feeling safe and comfortable, they will cook you all hours of the night. Old Chinese saying, he who knows He who throws the first insult or punch is the one who lost the contest of words, of wits. Okay. With some men, it's like stick break in the ears, or as my father used to say, you with your one ear, and as you bend your head, it comes through the other. Thank you, Charmaine. All right, so we go to the fifth one in our communication process is the whining, always complaining. Rachel, Rachel, you are late. Class starts at 8 o'clock on a Thursday, 8 p.m. Don't come here, don't come for class now. You see? We lock the door next time. All right. Rock and come in is between 8 o'clock and 8:10. All right. So voicing your opinion is good. But you see the whining and the complaining and every time finding fault with things, it doesn't help in a relationship. It causes the people to feel as though there's nothing they could do right in the eyes and ears of the person who always complains. So you stay away from that. Okay? Right. So we dealt with those 5 things. Let me just go back for those of you like Rachel who walk in here when they want to walk in late. Let me just share that what we said, number 1, is that in this relationship, when you are talking to your spouse, never insult your spouse and never try to correct them with others around. Allow them to speak and finish their sentence or finish whatever it is that they're saying before you engage them. Don't cut them across and don't try to correct them in front of people. And third, and the other thing that we said about in public, never insult them in public. Right? Try as much as possible to hold respect. If you and your spouse get away, you know, I know that there are some people that have the concept that they are not pretensive and if there's something on their mind, it's on their mind and they have to say it, etc. I don't believe in that with all due respect. I believe that once you are in company, and one would think is decent company, that you will not embarrass your company by embarrassing your spouse, because it embarrasses everybody. One would think that you will hold that, if you want to call it pretense, call it pretense. Hold that pretense of good relationship until you get home. Be socially aware to understand that you should not have people feeling uncomfortable because you and your spouse or you and your partner have gotten away. It's not a nice feeling. Nobody knows what to do. Should I jump in? And if I jump in, whose side should I jump in? Should I lead? And should I lead with them quarreling? I said, no, don't put nobody through that. You see? So it's not good. The other thing that we said is use the 3-to-1 thing when it comes to compliments. Make 3 good statements every day against every one statement that you see of something that is negative or wrong. Always practice that. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, when you're arguing, make sure that you're arguing in a way that you respect the other person. The person does not have to agree with you. Could we agree on that? Because just because you have an opinion, I have an opinion, and you don't see it my way, we don't have to vex. I don't have to convince you to take and see things in the way that, oh, I'm trying to bring it across. I should be okay with you not agreeing, and we continue. That's maturity. And that's where we have to come to in our relationship with each other. And number 5, when you're complaining, there are some people who tend to complain all the time, and that makes other people feel that, hey, listen, I'm tired. You know, there are some people avoid certain people. One, because some people talk too much and too long, so they avoid them. And then you have some people who always complaining. They always have something to do. And you hear people say, hey, look, so and so coming in. I gone, I go see you all later. Because they know the person either coming with some complaint or some long talk. All right. So there you have it. Let me see what Josan is saying here. I agree, because we would not like it, so why do it? If you can't do it, fake it till you make it. That's right. I agreed with that. And I said, let's agree to disagree. And that is also Annabella statement also. So, all right, let's look at some of the words we use to see if we could use within the next couple of minutes. We only have about 8 minutes or 7 minutes or so, it looks like. How we could change up some of the words that we use in communicating with each other. Because when we're talking to each other, it's important for us to choose our words carefully. As we say, words energize and words drain. So how do we say certain things that would carry the right meaning? Number one, try not to use a negative word. So if my wife asks me to do something for her, could she fix a pipe that is broken, or could I take out the garbage? I can say, I can't do it now. That word can't is a negative word, but it's the truth. I might not be able to do it now. So I could say that. But let's see if we could improve on that and see how we could change how it comes across to my wife, because it might come across to my wife as though it is punto finale. It is final and there's nothing else. I just can't do it now. It does not give hope that whatever it is she's asking will be done. So instead of using the word can't, use a more positive phrasing to say what you say. I'll take it out in 10 minutes. No, you can't do it now, but you just didn't say so. Or you're going to say, I'll take it out when I'm leaving for work in 1 hour's time. It is the same can't, but it does not come across as negative by saying cannot know. What it also does is give the impression, one of them gives the impression that I don't want to do it. I can't do it now. I can't do it now. I'm busy. That gives the impression I don't want to do. Whereas if I say, I'll take it out in 1 hour's time. See, I'll take it out in 1 hour's time. It is positive, and it says that I am quite prepared to have it done. So it takes away from the frustration in the conversation. Are you all with me? Yes? Sabina gave me a nice one, the sparkling. She says, I will check it shortly. Positive. I like that. I like that. Sparkling. I will check it shortly. You see, because we give the cliffhanger conversation, which means the person does not know whether it is going to happen or not. Another word that we have to be using. If your husband cooked for you and he asks you if it tastes good, kinda. Well, that does not give energy. That really drains you. So let me see if you could tell me, how could we phrase that differently? That does not give that, because the person is excited, they cook for you, eh? So they're excited to get your feedback. Want to know, well, okay, how it tastes. And then you say kinda. Oh, well, if you are at a marriage and you all put a phrase for me that we could use it all the time. But you are getting married. And the preacher asks, do you so take so and so as your dearly beloved wife or your husband? to have and to hold for this day forward, for which for worse, for better, for worse, from this day forward, sickness and in health till death do you part. Kinda. Kinda. No, you can't say kinda. All right. Sabina said, that's so kind of you to make me relax this time. I'm very late. Lauren, where were you? Ah, boy, yeah, all you late people, all you late people. All right, so Ryan is giving me a phrase we could use. Ryan said, darling, I got as soon as I finish up what I'm doing at the moment, I'll definitely get it done. Okay, sugar dumpling. All of that could go. All of that could go. There's nothing negative in that. Everything is positive. Josan said, I appreciate the meal very much. Next time, let's make it together. All right. So notice, this does not say you don't like the meal, but this does give hope that you appreciate the meal, and next time let's make it together. And I'm sure I'm figuring that Josan is saying this time I will help him to make it better so that it will taste better. I figure that. I see my wife post something there. Tonya Stewart. I see my wife post. Some men say I have tasted worst. Yeah. Because they don't want to say that it's not tasting good. So they say I have tasted worse. All right. So and could I just say that if and I'm saying this for the ladies out there. This one is really to the lady. When a man take you out for dinner and he don't spend his hard-earned dollars, and you are at a meal in a restaurant, don't be criticizing the meal. No, I think that sometimes some women think he didn't make it, so me criticizing it, you shouldn't take it personally. But it is his hard-earned dollars that he brought you out here hoping that you'll enjoy the evening. So don't be complaining about the food. It had no salt, it had no seasoning, it had no taste. I know how they bond this thing here, where they get it from, and all of that. It lets him feel as though he wasted his time. You see? So you could afford to leave off those negative things. Communication is key, says Ryan. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah. So just sit back, enjoy the meal. But you don't want to lie and say, oh, it tasted nice. Just say, I enjoyed the evening. Thank you so very much. Just use it as the evening. Or I appreciated the gesture. It was really kind of you and hospitable. But don't lie. You see. So, oh, but if the food there tastes good, what I must do? Just hush. Next time you go and you spend your own money and you buy, you could criticize all you want. Use this as a standard. When you speak, speak the truth. But not every truth you need to speak. There's a Bible verse that says, only a fool speaks his whole heart. Some people say, if you're on my chest, I have to get it off your chest. You do not have to. Hey. All right. That's fake. We must be real. If the meal not good, it's not good. Yes, it's not good. We know that. But do you have to say it? Talk to me, Annabella. When next time I meet you down the road at that place where you just be, I will give you good. I ain't gonna give you good here now. I will give you good. All right. And they'll say there's a certain intelligence that comes with maturity that's necessary for positive communication in relationships. We need to put away the old ways of doing things and begin to fine-tune our responses. That's right. It's decency, etiquette, social, being sociable. That's what it is. That's what we have to be. Yeah, people? As I said, and the women also have to act nicely. Anyway, people. We're out of time. Imagine that. First day of the year. Anyway, for those of you all are on for the first time, I see some of you all are on for the first time. We are on Thursdays, 8 o'clock. We deal with relationships here. We help you with your relationships free of charge. And we hope that it is helping people. And you feel free to like the page so that when we go live, you are always informed about it. And also invite others to come on board with it. If you want to go back to any of our reruns, you can go to my no, not my Facebook. The Facebook has so many things that sometimes people get lost. Some people just want the videos. So you can go to my website. My website is www.michaelatstewart.com. Let me say that again. www.michaelatstewart.com, and you'll have the past programs on that. This one is going to be on it also. So anytime you want a topic in particular, you can just go there. All right. Mercina said she will send it back to the kitchen. No words. That is workable also. You don't need to say anything. You could just say, or you could just tell your spouse at the table, your partner at the table. I think I've had enough. Thank you very much. I appreciated it. But I think I've had enough. Or just send it back to the kitchen. And just send it back. Deal with that the next time. Or you could call them after the date and tell them all your meal was lousy. That is after you already drop your date home. All right. Thank you all very much. This is Mike at Night. Hope that you got some value out of it. My telephone number is there. Anytime you need to hit me, or if you have a topic that you want to deal with, I'm always open to ideas, etc. Okay. Thank you very much. And have yourselves a wonderful day now. God bless.